All right, Cherry Cola, the newer. I will just say newer. The newer cookie to be released in the game is actually going to be a Water Tiger Splash. Replaces actually Sonic Water. We're gonna go ahead and move on to its stats, promotions, artifacts, season nights, and of course her skills, and of course her build. So yeah, let's start first with the promotions right here. So we have the morning class mayhem. It's actually really cool. After school rampage. You guys can read. So yeah, I'm just gonna show it. Then we have the final burst. And of course, some stat increase. Anyway, that's that out of the way. Let's go to part of which is called the sticky situation. It has a crit rate of 25%, and of course this one. Attack increase by 50% at the start of the combat. Heat sweet and sour splash apply over carbonated to the enemy. Over carbonate passive skill damage taken. That is actually really interesting. Alright, let's move on to her equipment. Her equipment is, since she's a tagger, she can also go to a tagger damage build if you guys want to use DBD or Specialist Hunter, that kind of thing, but we're gonna be playing her as a tagger. Alright, so she will run the Golden Finery with, of course, her unique signature with carbonated cherry blades, with of course 2 elemental attack, and of course the Golden Finery set with 3 attack. There's 2 on the head I have there, and of course 1 onto the body, and of course 2 crit rates, so 1 over there on the body and 1 over there onto the legs, and of course the final one is the crit damage. Alright, now let's move on to her skills. Skills is actually the sparking flashpoint. Every single time when she uses her skill, her basic attack will be treated as the sweet and sour splash damage, which is actually treated as passive skill damage. That's passive skill, which means this actually works really well with this one right here because of her artifact right here, which is passive skill damage taken, which is actually really cool. So yeah, that actually synergizes really well. Up next is going to be the basic attack, basic slash, attacks with carbonate turbines up to 3 times, and if it's enhanced, the sweet and sour splash, remember, after you use a skill, special skill, ultimate, something like that, it would be treated as a passive skill. This too, kind of like, let's just say, kind of like a interchangeable for the most part, but yeah. Up next is the Shaking Blade. Tag is a debuff, charges forward and performs a spinning slash to deal damage to enemies to 2 times, and if enemies hit by them, they will be having the Bubble Point debuff, aka damage taken from cookies. So pretty much the same thing compared to the Sonic and other damage taken from cookies modifier for the taggers and for the supports. They have this debuff right there. Okay, now we have the dash, which is actually a little bit different. Dash is, I think it's only 1 dash, but there's a constant of 2 attacks in there. Pretty interesting. Next is the ultimate, the Cherry Bubble Burst. So basically, it has pauses in here, but the key thing here is she will place down the Cherry Cola, the Cherry Flow, when she jumps, and then once that, she will activate it, aka deal damage with that, and then by she will have the Sticky Cherry when that Cherry Flow is finished. Basically her ultimate has like 2 phases and stuff, that kind of thing, but the first phase actually going to be she will only start Cherry Blade first, then followed by this massive Cherry Cola Burst from that unleashed blade damage, and then followed by the Cherry Flow explosion. So basically during her ultimate, she will have these 3 the exact same time: the unleashed blade, Cherry Cola Burst, and the Cherry Flow explosion. Second phase of that is she will now leave the Sticky Cherry. That is the movement speed debuff, so we have that movement speed quite similar to the Gumball, Tagger, that kind of thing. And this is the time where we will get the Bubble Point, the Bubble Point modifier, which means damage taken from cookies. It's actually very cool. Alright, now let's go ahead and put this into trial and see. So we have Cherry Cola. I'm gonna use you, of course, and of course, where are you? The newest one, this one. Like I said before, this is the newest, so yeah, I haven't even made a Blue Mallow video yet, but hey, he will be here. Alright, let's move on. Da 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 da. Alright, we are here. As you guys can see, we have our normal basic attack. It's actually a little bit laggy, so let me change the game here real quick. So low and show hide and of course include my effects. There we go. There we go. So I think it will be a little bit fresher now for you guys, hopefully. So this is the regular attack, right? There we go. Well, there's a do passive there, but yeah. So this is actually going to be her special skill, which is the Shaken Blade. Can be used twice, as you guys can see. And watch with the basic attack, okay? There we go. And then that has been now treated as the Sparkling Flashpoint. Right here. There we go. So every single time you do it, boom, the Sparkling Flashpoint appears every single time you use a special skill or an ultimate. There you go. Do it again. There we go. There we go. I'm not sure I get the dash here. There we go. One dash attacks twice. There we go. So do it again. There we go. And yeah. Do it again. There we go. There we go. Nice. Alright, now let's move on to the ultimate. I'm gonna put it here. So over here, we have this one right here, which is actually called the anyway. So we have this one. There we go. That is the 3 phases. We have the Cherry Bubble Burst in there, the Unleashed Blade, as well the Cherry Color Burst. And of course, upon death, we have the Cherry Flow Explosion. After the jumps, we have those. We also have the Bubble Point and the Sticky Cherry debuff. Now let me go ahead and reset it. First phase is this one. There we go. Basically, 3 things going on until the first phase of her ultimate, and then followed by the second phase, we have the modifier, this one right here, the Bubble Point, as well as the Cherry. So do it again. Ooh, pretty decent. Go over here, bro. Let's go over here, by the way. So let me go. Sorry, right here. So we have the special skill that changes everything. We now have the Sparkling Flashpoint. Well, let's put it here. You can actually aim this, by the way. And then once we do this, our skill or our basic attack will also be changed into the Sparkling Flashpoint again, which is also treated as passive. Pretty cool. This is the area about it. Dashes forward and deal that area damage. Basically like a half cone. Kind of like a moon, by the way, but yeah. Boom, there we go. Alright. So, how do we do this? Since the mastery mode, aka the boarding log that we have right now is pretty much changed, I think we're just gonna do this on, I don't really know why, maybe some Mirage hunts? So yeah. Maybe doing some Mirage hunts right here, which is pretty cool. So let's go over there. Go over here. And where's Mirage Hunt? Right here. This Mirage Hunt hasn't been updated for quite a while, but yeah, it's fine. We're just gonna go over here, trying to look for some water stuff. Maybe gonna stop the monkey because there's 2 in here as well. So we're gonna go with these ones right here. We already beat it, so that doesn't really change a thing. So let's go with you. Go with you. And of course, go with you. Yeah, my Blue Mellow is still 4-star, which means the video might take a little quite longer. Yeah, just really upsetting. Okay, that's fine. Alright, here we go. We are basically here for Cherry Cola. And look at that iris, though. Man, being replaced by Blue Mallow is actually insane. Alright, starting first with a special and a dual ultimate. Just waiting for the shaman here to do her thing. So go over here. Over here again. Then we can use this. Boom. We have the movement speed debuff from the Cherry Cola as well as the level point debuff, which is actually that was taken to enemy. Pretty decent. I'm gonna use it now. Why not? So I'll go right here. I think it's this one. That's fine. There we go. That's fine. Use it again. Oh gosh, okay. Use this. Use this. Then I think one more will be fine. Oops. Oh no, yeah, I forgot about Monkey's face about that. That's fine. Alright, here we go. Use this. Gonna knock me off, which is so annoying. Use this. We're gonna burst Monkey out. Who made it better fun? There we go. That is Cherry Cola. Pretty simple, I might say this. Pretty interesting also. So yeah. Also, by the way, I need to go to the boarding log real quick to see if I claim the title. That will be very fun indeed. Alright. Boarding log it is. Go over here. Boarding log. Here we go. Cherry Cola. I think I did, right? So by the way, if you're still missing for Cherry Cola, I have 2 out of the 3. Well, yeah, 2 out of the 3. 2 favorite things, 1 dislike. But yeah, let's move on to you. I did get the title, which is pretty good. With You Someday. That's a pretty cool title. So pretty cool. Alright, I think that's gonna be it for the video. I'm sorry guys, it's a little bit awkward. I haven't been uploaded because, you know, I'm still trying to max out every single code that's been released. So right now, Cherry Cola, I just finished, I might say, moving now to the Boom Mallow. Just a little bit also quite concerning because, you know, look at this. 14 out of 60 and there's a new cookie indeed coming out the middle of the June. So yeah, I don't know. This might also be a little bit delayed as well. So yeah, anyway, well, I'm gonna see you guys next one. See ya.